There's nothing worse than getting a hole in a nice pair of socks, but that doesn't have to be the end of it. Using the tried and true method of darning, you can extend the life of your socks and save some money in the long run. Let's go ahead and get started. For supplies, you'll need your damaged sock, a darning egg or something you can use similar like a ball, some textured overlock thread or thin yarn. When picking your repair thread, you'll want to try and match the texture of the sock. I prefer the textured overlock thread and it's easy to work with. You'll also need a long needle that can fit your thread. First, you'll want to turn the sock wrong side out and slip in the darning egg to cover the damaged section. The darning egg will keep the hole open because we are sewing over it instead of just trying to sew the hole closed. If you have any loose fibers or frayed sections around the hole, just trim it away to make the area as clean as possible. Put your thread on your needle. You'll want to make the thread length as long as you can, but still manageable to sew with. We won't be tying a knot at the end of the thread. I'm going to start by sewing a little bit outside my damaged area. I'm dealing with two different types of damage in my sock. I have my main hole, but it's really hard to see. I also have a worn heel where the fuzziness of my sock is kind of worn away, and if I'm not careful, I'm just going to end up with another hole. So I'm actually going to repair this whole section right here. So starting a little bit outside of that, essentially what we're doing is we're going to be sewing a running stitch in the same direction, as in I'm going to sew up, then turn around, sew back down, sew up, sew back down. You're essentially going to be doing rows. To do a running stitch, I'm just going to grab a little bit of the fibers of the sock, push my needle forward just a little bit, grab a few more fibers of the sock, push my needle forward a little bit, and grab a few more fibers. So I'm just going to keep doing this. If you have a long enough needle, you can get quite a bit on there before you pull your needle all the way through. So this is called basically a running stitch. And then once I can almost get to the top of where I want to stop here, I'm going to pull this all the way through, but I'm not going to pull my thread all the way through. I'm going to leave about a couple of inches because we're not going to be tying a knot. Instead, we're going to be trimming this off after we finish the repair. So just leave it like that. Now I'm just going to be going in the opposite direction, doing the same thing. So I'm grabbing a little bit of my sock, go forward a little bit with my needle, grab a little bit of my sock. And in order to make this repair look really neat, make your rows really close together and then make your stitches small. And this is really hard to do with my opposite hand. So you get the general idea. So I'm almost here at the bottom. And if it's not perfect, don't worry about it, because we're going to be doing a lot of stitches. And now I'm going to pull this enough just so I don't pull this all the way through, but you have it lying flat. So now that I've done that, I can go ahead and just repeat the process now going in the opposite direction. So now I'm going to be going up. Continue weaving through the fibers up and down until you've covered the whole damaged section. If you come to a section where there are no fibers to weave through because it's an open hole, leave the thread flat over the section and continue on. If you run out of thread, you can just weave through as much as you can and then grab another thread and start where you left off using the same method. Once you've covered the whole section, turn your sock 90 degrees and now we're going to repeat the process, but we're going perpendicular to our previous stitches. The end result should look similar to a basket weave. After you finish, you can trim your thread tails. If you're really worried about it becoming unraveled, which it shouldn't since it's been woven through the sock a bunch of times, you can just put it on a needle and just kind of weave it back through as much as you can before you cut it off, just to add a little bit of extra peace of mind if you need that. Now, the reason why we don't tie a knot is because if you have a knot that's too big and you're able to fill it when you're wearing the sock, it might make it uncomfortable to wear. Turn the sock right side out and inspect your repair. I used a contrasting thread color so my repair will be easier for you to see, but if you use a matching thread color like I did with this sock, your repair will be less noticeable. Now that you know how to repair your socks, you can give them the TLC they deserve. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to get notified of our weekly releases. Also check out ProfessorPincushion.com to view our complete library with well over 350 sewing tutorials. If you would like to directly support us, you can check out our Patreon campaign and earn some exclusive perks. Thanks for watching.